All right, we are live. A little later than I wanted to be, but we are live nonetheless. Let me get my Amazon one going, and we'll have some retro fun as we approach the weekend. So we're going to get the show on the road, as they say, and actually have three. We haven't done one of these retro magazine unboxing things in a while, so I've got three of them. I think the last one we did was like back in November, December, January maybe? It definitely hasn't been in the last 2 months or so. So we are a little behind the eight ball here, but we're going to catch up, and we are going to play around with some mugs. I got some Nintendo-themed mugs this month, which you can find at the Amazon link that's in the description. And I always like to find like some retro thing to do when I do one of these streams. So what we've got, make sure I got the right link in here. What we have is a color-changing mug. So when you put a hot drink in it, you get this image from a Game Boy game, which looks like it's the end of Mario Land, is what it looks like. And then I also got this question block mug, which we'll look at also. So those are the two things that we're going to unbox here. And Charles G is here. Christopher289 is here. Richard is here. And Christoph remembers there was snow on the ground still the last time we did this. Yeah, these are a lot of fun. I like doing these because it's just a fun way to like end out the week. It's just a lot more chill than a more serious live stream might be. Give me a second here. My computer is giving me a hard time. What did I do wrong here? Hang on a second. Let's move this up a notch. There we go. Okay. Yeah, my computer is, there it is. Now I can scroll it. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I had a little glitch on my production system here, but now it's all better. Okay. So Charles G likes these. I like them too. They're a lot of fun. And Jacek is here. I don't know how much time. So I have time, but not a lot of time. So we used to thumb through every page. So I think we might go a little quicker through these. We'll see how it goes. But I'll wait for a few more people to come in. David Langley is here. Hello there. Yeah, so if you haven't seen one of these before, what we do is we unbox, or open up, I should say, these mystery video game magazines that I get from, I subscribe to this. The Video Game History Foundation has a program where they send you a random retro game magazine once a month. And because I save these for live streams, I never open them up alone. I always open them up in front of all of you. So that is what we do there. And I see Psychedelic Cat in the Amazon chat says, this box looks amazing. Yeah, so the company, the last one we did was of these Nintendo coasters. And it's from the same company that makes the mug. And they got the packaging down like perfectly. So this looks almost exactly like the Game Boy packaging, doesn't it? It's got that same vibe. But alas, it's just a mug. And then I've got the other one in here, which we'll look at in a second too. So we'll get cooking here once I get a few more viewers in. And I'm probably going to shoot a little mini video thingy of the stuff there. CM is sending some good vibes. Martin is here. Hello there. Jose Morales is joining us from Florida. It's finally getting warmer here in Connecticut, but not quite as warm as Florida is. So yeah, we're going to just do a little unboxing here. But this looks like a lot of fun. So when it's hot, that's what it's supposed to do. And we'll see how that looks when we do that. We're going to do a live demo. And Christoph says it looks very close to the original packaging. Yeah, you know, I did a video. I went to the Retro Video Game Convention in Hartford, Retro World Expo. And part of my overview of that event was finding all the stuff that's still in the original packaging from some of the vendor tables. And there was a bunch of things. But if you look at the Game Boy packaging here, it's good. This company is called Paladone, and if you go on Amazon and just search for some of their other stuff, they make a lot of neat things like this, and they have a good art department. And they just make licensed things from all sorts. It's like not just Nintendo, it's like everything. But I thought this might be kind of fun to do during the live stream. Scott says, nice job with the Flowbee. Yeah, I had Amber come and cut my hair again. So what happened here was that with the Flowbee, by the way, we were going to do this whole big thing with the Flowbee. And then I discovered that my daughter's friend's mother, yeah, one of her fellow preschool classmates, she opened up a barber shop, basically, that comes to you. So perfect. So she just comes, I just text her, I'm like, hey, I need a haircut. She shows up, she cuts my hair, and I don't have to go anywhere. It's perfect. So I never got around to it. Here's what I did try to do, though. When I discovered that George Clooney was using the Flowbee, I tried to get him on for a live stream and have him advise me as to how to use it. And I got as far as his PR guy, and he was asked, and George Clooney declined. But the ask was made, so I accomplished that, but it never happens. But I still have the Flowbee. Christoph wants to know, how do you spell the name of the company that makes it? I will show you. It is spelled, let me get the thing off here. It is P-A-L-A, so P-A-L-A-D-O-N-E, Paladone. And they make a lot of stuff. So if you go on Amazon, I don't have my screen shared at the moment, but if you click on one of the two mugs that I've got linked right now, and you click on the Paladone store, you can see they've got a lot of stuff. And it's not, like I said, it's not just Nintendo. They've got Star Wars, PlayStation. They got this cool looking ghost from Pac-Man I'm looking at right now. The Pac-Man ghost light. I may get that one for the next one we do. There's all sorts of stuff here for retro game gifts that you might want to pursue. So that is, I thought that was kind of fun. All right, we've got some more folks joining us. Eric is here from Canada. Patrick Chang is here. All the regulars are popping in. Charles G loves the Game Boy, trying to fix the laser in my GameCube for a few weeks now so he can get the Game Boy player and his old Game Boy games. And nothing is ever as easy. Yeah, that is very true. I got the Analog Pocket. So whenever I have like 20 minutes to play a video game, I can pop that open. I'm waiting for it to be jailbroken is what I'm waiting on. So that's what we're waiting on. All right. Well, I am going to maybe start with these mugs. So why don't we do that? I'm going to do a quick little thing here. Call this mugs. I'm going to put this on the extras channel. And I'm going to record a little video. Because I always like to maximize my use of time. So we're going to record a quick video. We're going to unbox these things. And I already unboxed the other one because I was curious how you drink out of it. So we'll explain that in the video. All right, do a quick setup here. 3, 2, 1. Hey everybody, it's Lon.TV, and I've got a couple of fun little retro mugs to check out. These are from a company called Paladone, and they make all sorts of cool licensed products, not only for video games, but a whole bunch of other things as well. And so I bought this one. This is their Super Mario question block. I did rinse it out a little bit to see how it works. And I was curious with this one as to whether or not I could drink out of it, but they actually have a corner here kind of lipped so you can drink out of it, even though it doesn't look like a typical kind of coffee mug. So it actually does work. I'll have to get a better shot there later. Let me start this again, because I'm just like blabbering on. Start this again, one more time. So we're going to record a video for the extras channel while I am doing this, and then we'll get into the magazines. We're going to do a live demo, though, so I'm going to fill the mug up with hot water, and I'm going to pour it into the heat-changing mug to see how that works. All right, let's try this again. 3, 2, 1. Hey, everybody, it's Lon.TV, and I've got a couple of fun retro gaming mugs to check out. I'm doing a live stream right now with some retro magazine openings that I do every couple of months, and I got in this mug from a company called Paladone, and I paid for this with my own funds, and this is the Mario question block. And then I also bought this one, a heat-changing mug that will, when you pour hot water in, give you an image from the original Game Boy, and you can see it is Game Boy themed. And this company, Paladone, makes a bunch of licensed products for a whole bunch of different things, even beyond video games. And they just make a lot of cool, fun stuff. And And I always like to have some retro stuff here on the table when I do these videos. So I thought what we would do today is see how these mugs work. And then you can check out the link in the video description for the live stream that we did, opening up some of these magazines. I'm going to start this again because I'm trying to make this work across multiple platforms. So let me do one more take and then we'll get going. 3, 2, 1. Hey everybody, it's Lon.TV, and every couple of months I do a live stream with some retro video game magazines that I get in that we thumb through, and I always like to have some retro themed products to look at when we do that. So I bought these 2 mugs off of Amazon, and they're made by a company called Paladun, and they make a lot of licensed products for a whole bunch of different categories, including movies and TV shows and video games in this case. And these just look kind of fun. So this is a Mario question block mug, and it is actually easier to drink out of than it appears because they have kind of sculpted the mug here so that you can drink out of the front and back of it. And in a minute, we're going to put some hot water in here and pour it into this other one that I got. This one is the Game Boy heat-changing mug. So when you pour hot liquids into it, whether it's water or coffee or whatever, this screen will not light up, but will appear on the surface of the mug due to the temperature change. So we're going to try that out here in a second, but we're going to unbox this. And as I do, I want to let you know I paid for these mugs with my own funds. All the opinions you're about to hear are my own, and no one is paying for this, whatever this is, this review or this unboxing. So here is the mug. Looks pretty cool. Neither mug, by the way, is dishwasher safe. And it also says here that they're not suitable for the microwave either. At least, yeah, both of these are not suitable for the microwave or the dishwasher. So you're going to be hand washing these, and you want to keep them out of the microwave, but of course you can pour hot water into them. The mug here feels okay. Doesn't feel all that thick, but good enough, I think, for getting the job done. And again, this is the screen that will allegedly change color when we pour hot water into it. So what I'm going to do is fill this thing up with hot water, and we're going to pour it into this mug, and we're going to see, first of all, how well this pours, but also whether or not this thing will change color when we do it. So hang on, let me get some hot water, and we'll be right back. All right, there we go. So now we can demo both products at the same time, right? So it is a mug. Mark Smith, yes. And Denny's yeah, this is like you can find these mugs in a whole bunch of different categories. I had a Denny's near me that closed recently, which was a real bummer. I like Denny's. I like anything inexpensive and consistent. All right, so let's get that done, and then I'm going to switch to camera 2 here. And we will zoom in on the mug. And I'm going to get some hot water in the other mug. And we'll see how this does here. Let's get the camera adjusted. That should work, right? So I'm going to go and fill up this mug with hot water. So talk amongst yourselves for a second. I'm not going to put it in the microwave, obviously. But we're going to see if tap water is enough here for getting the job done. And I have a bathroom in my studio here, so I don't have to go far. And we're just going to get the hot water going real quick here. And hopefully, I keep my water heater on the warmer side of life, so hopefully that's enough to trigger the mug. All right, so this is the moment of truth here. I think the square mug holds a larger volume of water versus the other one, but let's get this done here and see what happens. All right, so we're going to test how well this pours at the same time that we do the other thing here. So let's give this a shot. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. All right, so oh, lost my voice. 3, 2, 1. All right, so I got the hot water here in the mug, and we'll see how well this pours. And yeah, it doesn't pour too well. I think it drinks better than it pours. But as I fill it up here, what should happen now that we have hot water in the mug is that this should start changing its state to the image that we saw on the box. But it doesn't appear to be doing so just yet, so perhaps the water is not hot enough. So I may have to go upstairs and get some really hot water going here. Yeah, I think we're going to have to do the hot water. Yeah, it doesn't pour very well either. Maybe I'll get some paper towels to fix that while we're waiting here. Yeah, so it looks like it's got to be like scorching hot water, not just like out of the tap water. So let me go and I'm going to boil some water in the microwave real quick, and that might give us a better result. Let me see, check the other side here. Yeah, both are not visible. All right, so I'm still recording. Hit the record button here. All right, so it looks like we're going to have to, let me pour this out real quick and hopefully not get it on any electronics on the way. Should have thought that through a little better, huh, everybody? So we're going to pour this out because, yeah, this was not warm enough. Yeah, so it looks like it's got to be like really hot water. So I am going to go, so give me a minute here, talk amongst yourselves, and I'm going to go get some hotter water and see if that might make it work a little better. So we're going to run upstairs here. I'm going to mute myself for a minute, and I'll be right back. Okay, so my wife informed me that using the tea kettle was faster. So we're going to use my oven mitt here. As soon as that kettle is done, we're going to bring the kettle down here, and that's how we're going to do this. So there you go. All right. Yeah, Charles G says, it turns out that, so actually the kitchen is right above me, so we'll have to see how this works. But it looks like it's got to be warmer than like your tap water needs to be. So that is a note there, right? And it does not pour very well, although the yellow one, but I did drink out of it, so it drinks okay. It doesn't pour well. But there are some neat things that they've got on there. There was like a Pac-Man light that I thought was kind of neat. So I might look at getting that one for the next one of these that we do. All right, so I'm going to go run back upstairs a minute. Thankfully, the kettle is not quite full, so it shouldn't take too long to get some adequately hot water here. But it looks like we need like hot water, not like, yeah, so we're going to boil that water. That's what we're going to do. Who would have thought we'd be boiling water here? You know what I have actually in the closet back there? I reviewed this years ago. I have a this pot that you boil water in, and when the water is hot, I'm trying to remember how this works. When the pot gets hot, you can charge your phone with it, but you got to keep water in the pot. So it captures the heat and can output like enough voltage and amperage to charge a USB device. Isn't that wild? So yeah, it's good stuff. Richard Maxey says, no Keurig. No, I've got like a little 4-cup coffee maker with a grinder built into it. So that's what I use. It's really It's really nice. I also have an AeroPress, which is great for like single one-off cups of coffee, but I found the coffee maker to be a little more convenient. But yeah, I've got this. I think I have it over here. Let me see if I can find it real quick. So I think it's like right here. Yeah, here it is. I should just like review this again because I got this way back in 20. It's funny that it's like right here. I got this way back in 2014, but this is it. You plug in the cable into here, and then it charges with the heat that it captures. It's got like a whole USB connector, and it's just like it captures the heat. But if you don't have water in here, it's not good. Like it will break it, so you have to make sure you've got boiling water. But if you are like around a campsite, you can use the heat from your camp thing to boil the water. Okay, let me go get the kettle upstairs. I'll be right back. Okay, I got a very angry kettle here. I can't put it down on the desk because this thing is like rip-roaring here. All right, so, oh boy, I need a better grip on it. And it's like super, super hot. Okay, there we go. Put it down on the carpet for a second. Okay, here we go. Okay, so let me get this positioned here. Okay. 3, 2, 1. All right, so we did try to use some tap water that was from my hot water in the mug here, and it wasn't hot enough to get this to change color. We also found that this thing drinks better than it pours, so I've got my kettle here, hot off the stove, and we're going to fill it up with some water that was just boiling a second ago. And let's see if that is enough to trigger the screen here. If not, this may not. Oh, there it goes. Look at that. That's pretty cool. Hey, that's pretty neat. And it gives you what looks like the last screen of Mario Land. I'm going to take a picture with my phone here to get a better image of it, but it looks really good. Let's get a better image here. Oh, my wrist. I'm like holding too many things at once here. This phone now switches to macro mode. Okay. Now let's see if it's the same on the other side. Okay, so let's flip it around to the other side. Oh, it's got the front, the opening screen of Super Mario Land on the front. You can't play it though. Okay. Let me just get that image real quick. It's hard to keep my wrist steady because I'm holding the hot water. This is really hot water. So I think you need like some significantly hot water for this to work perfectly, but it looks really clear. Okay, there we go. Hey, super chat from Tech Time with Eric. Good to see you again. Haven't seen you in a while. I am doing very well. And yeah, we just wanted to check out these retro mugs first. I bought these like back in December, and I just never got around to doing the stream. So I'm going to go put this back before I burn myself, and we will continue forth once I do that. Hang on one second. Okay. All right, we are back. And actually, I found, because I haven't moved them yet, I still have the coasters from last time. So these were the NES coasters that I thought were just kind of a neat gift idea. So these are also in that category. And I'm guessing so maybe I'll pour the water out and see if how quickly it goes back to its other state. I'm guessing it's all related to how warm the ceramic component is. So let's pour this out. But it will change back once it cools off. And I'm guessing if I pour some cold water in, that might actually get it going quicker. So let's see. Yeah, the mug is very warm right now. Hopefully it doesn't break when I apply some cold water to it, but I'm curious here what happens. Oh, wow. You can't see this, but like, oh, I wish I could show you this. Yeah, it just kind of goes away when you apply the cold water to it. That's kind of neat. I would love to know what the material is that does this. And I've seen these before, I just forget how it works. So now that I've poured some cold water on it, it's back to where it was. Pretty neat. Okay. Well, that's good. I got my exercise. And the Game Boy versions of this game have their own special magic. You know, I love that Mario game because, you know, I don't think people realized when the Game Boy came out, I mean, people my age probably do, when the Game Boy came out, the alternative for portable gaming were those Tiger handheld, those LCD games. So to have like a fully, you know, bit-mapped graphical adventure that was comparable to the console was pretty amazing. Okay, let me close this out here. Gonna salvage whatever I can. And yeah. Trying to figure out how to even end this. And we'll get into the magazine thing. 3, 2, 1. So that's going to do it for this look at these Paladone mugs. They're pretty cool. I think the Game Boy one is a little bit cooler than the block one here, but they both look pretty neat. And again, this company makes a lot of this kind of stuff, so you may want to check it out on Amazon. Until next time, this is Lon.TV. Thanks for watching. All right, done. So let's move on to the rest of this. So we're just going to call this some B-roll, mug pour, and then 2 conclusion. 3 conclusion, and then we've got the, see how much work this all becomes? Because like I have to map out all the stuff. And this is hot water test. But if you missed it, I'll show you the hot water test again. I think that's pretty neat. Let's take a look and see how it came out on camera, because I was watching it, not really looking at the camera version. So let's see. Oh, I didn't really have a lot of light. I had the camera exposure level down a little bit. I can boost that in post, as they say. Yeah, so this is the, there it goes. Yeah, I'll just boost that up a little bit in post-production. That's pretty cool. I like how it just kind of fades in. Isn't that neat? It's all temperature. And now it's back to its current state, which is blank. It doesn't light up. Does it light up the little button there? I don't know if it does. Let's see. The button kind of changes color, but it doesn't go red. So there you go. Oh, you know what I saw this weekend? Let me show you this. I have it on my phone. I saw the Game Boy at the Nintendo store. Here, let me get this thing onto my system here. Where did it go? Yeah, I went to New York City with my family this past weekend. This weekend we're not going anywhere because we are all traveled out. But I'll show you this in a second here. So we have some more friends popping in. This is kind of like a chill stream, just catching up on some stuff. David Bounds is a fun mug. Yeah, the startup sound, it is permanently in my head too. And it is a spoiler, so you do need to make sure that you've beaten the game. That game is pretty beatable, though. So I got through it pretty quickly. There's not that many levels in it. I think maybe, there's like 6 of them. And 2 of the levels are actually like shooters, right? Because it's, I'll show you this video that I took. So I went to the Nintendo store in New York City, which is in Rockefeller Center. And there, let me pull in the video here. I'll show it to you. Give me 1 second. I'll pull it up. So at that store, they have a Game Boy that was in a barracks in Saudi Arabia. This made the news at the time, because I remember this. And the barracks had been bombed by or was hit with a Scud missile. And it was a tragedy, because I think a number of servicemen and women lost their lives there, unfortunately. But Nintendo had caught wind of this Game Boy that was caught in the fire. And this is what it looks like. And this is actually, I took this video, so you can see it's like melted to shreds, but the Game Boy still works. And I think the screen actually was working better. So they leave it on. You can see it's plugged in, and it still works. And the screen actually has looked better in years past, and I think they on a pretty frequent basis will take it in and refurbish the screen. Because usually what you get those lines there, it's usually the connector of the screen to the motherboard. And even the newer, like a lot of the Game Boys when they first came out all had this line issue. Most of them were vertical and not horizontal like this is, but still, I mean, it's still working after surviving what it went through there. It's pretty crazy. All right. So shall we do some magazine unboxings? We'll check it out. And Basic Pixel had a Game Boy Color. Ando Gamer is here. Michael Russo's headlines also. Yeah, Retro Bright Fail, definitely there for sure. And David Parker missed it. Yeah, I'll have this up on the Extras channel so you can see how the mug works. But it does work. It's pretty cool. We got some good video of it in action, so we can at least demo that. And we'll definitely check that out. All right, so we're going to open these up. We're not going to have as much time to leaf through all of them, so we're going to go through quickly. But who wants to take a guess as to what year we've got? So more than likely, this is going to be 1999 or earlier. So it could be late 80s, or it could be early 90s. You know? Sanko says, yes, unbox the magazines. All right, so I'm going to pull it out here, and we'll see what we get. So the way this works, in case you, I think I'm up to like almost a year's worth of these now. So what happened is I subscribed to this, and I subscribed to the 80s and 90s one. There's another one that's like the 2000s era. And what these are magazines that came from their archive, essentially. And they have duplicates, but I have yet to get one that's in poor quality. Now, the first one we got was the best one I think I've had so far, which was like 1995, right during the transition from 16 to 32-bit. So there was a lot of good stuff, but most of them have been pretty good. So it looks like we've got a bunch of guesses here. 97, 95, 98, 96, 91, bunch of 91s. Let's see what we got here. Ooh, a Nintendo Power, volume 36. So I don't know what year that is, but let's take a look. Volume 36. So this is from 1992. This was May of 1992. So this is a fun one. So let's take a look and see what this looks like. But I tell you, like every one that I've received from them, you would think these would be like just from somebody's, disgusting basement, and every single one I've had feels. This one is actually probably in the best quality I've had out of all of them. Speaking of the Game Boy and Tetris, punish your father when he gets home. So your Game Boy is missing again. Who knows? Yeah, my father was really into, so get Dad a Game Boy. So this is May of '92. So at this point, the Game Boy was 3 years old because it came out in '89. So that year, '89, you had the Sega Genesis and the Game Boy as like the two big things. And Darkwing Duck, this looks like was this the NES version? It might be. Yeah, it's definitely NES. And I think the Super Nintendo was out in '91, but as you can see, they were still pushing NES games. I think this is NES. I can't tell you, like this magazine feels brand new. Like the pages feel like they've never been turned before. Here's RoboCop. Again, looks like an NES game, yep. And they would always have these great maps. This took a lot of work for them to do, you know, unless they had the developers in there. And some tips on different games here. Super Mario World, Off-Road. So my local bowling alley had that arcade game, and I still hear that song in my head. The Legend of Zelda, A Link to the Past, some cartoons. I think it's like a pull-out poster thing. I don't know. It's like a cartoon. I forgot they had this stuff. Isn't this cool? It's really nice artwork. Very nice. Batman, Return of the Joker on Game Boy. Yeah, these pages, I mean, this feels brand new. I mean, the other ones have been very good quality, but this one takes the cake. And if you look, the binding here is rubbed off, but the inside is pristine. It still has that original sheen to it. Fun Pack 4-in-1, a bunch of board games. You had a lot of puzzle games and that kind of thing for the Game Boy. So that is pretty cool. And I'm missing a whole bunch of chats here. Wow, did I miss a lot? Let's go back here a little bit and see what we got. So '92 was the year of this one. And Michael remembers this one. So yeah, if you were, I always look forward to getting these in the mail. I didn't have a subscription for long because I was into Sega, so Sega's magazine was free, at least for a long time. And Andon Gamer, the winner, is the winner. And Craig was 12, loved Darkwing Duck. How old was I in '92? I was 15? Yeah, I must have been 15. And Richard says some good games in that one. Darkwing Duck, Game Boy Batman, Contra 3. Yeah, let's see if we can find Contra 3 in here. The Work Boy. Oh my goodness, somebody did a video on this. Was it the Gaming Historian did something on this? Because this never came out, I don't think. But if you look at this, there was a bunch of things that were turning the Game Boy into kind of like a smartphone in that they had, I think there was a knitting machine, if I'm not mistaken, and a few other things because it's portable. So this is demoing a clock, a day book, temperature, control menu for stored records, calendar, currency exchange, telephone stuff, accounts, like checkbook kind of stuff. Oh, it'll auto-dial phone numbers. I'm guessing it would generate the tones. That's pretty cool. Ando loves the, yeah, you can't go wrong with the Nintendo Power for sure. And I too miss gaming magazines. I saw one at Retro World Expo. There's still some out there, but they're hard to come by these days, at least in the modern world. And Apple Forever couldn't wait for the Nintendo Power to show up. Brandon says, so much productivity be had. Absolutely. And Sam makes a good point. It's hard. Yeah, this was definitely a US and Japan kind of thing, wasn't it? I'm sure there's a lot of stuff out there in Australia, but probably not to the level. Even in the US, like, my friend Metal Jesus Rocks lives in Seattle, and they have so much more stuff out there because Nintendo is headquartered there. MG Fur, welcome. The Fairphone. Tell me more about the Fairphone. I'd like to see what that's all about. And David wonders what they were using. I bet you they were using PageMaker at this point. Because a lot of what they would do is they would go out to, they would make film from PageMaker, or they would actually print out the layout and then photograph it for film and then to plate. But this was right around the era they were really starting to use that kind of stuff. Here's the Uninvited. I think it's an NES game. Yeah, this was a fun time because you had, in Nintendo Power at least, you had 3 systems all at, kind of at their, in market. You had the NES, you had the Game Boy, and the Super Nintendo. So there was a lot of stuff to be excited about. It wasn't just one system. Now with the Switch, you got one system, that's it. Super Adventure Island for the Super Nintendo, and this was only the first year in, so this is when you were starting to get all the cool games. And it covers everything. Look at this huge map of all the different levels. The Super Nintendo really did look good for its time. Oh, this is like a pull-out poster. Look at this. Oh, look at that. Oh, that's cool. This is a... And the quality of this, I don't even want to tear it out, but like I can't tell. This magazine feels like it was just mailed to me. Like, well, not, you know what I mean? Like it was, but I mean, it was like mailed in 1992 to me. So it's got this on the front, and then it's got all the maps for Adventure Island, Super Adventure Island on the other side. Isn't that cool? That is really cool. And here is Contra 3, The Alien Wars. This was a hard game, right? I don't think I ever got through the first level on it. But how about that? 16-bit Contra. I loved Contra on the NES. That was a great game. It looks like they have like an overhead level. And I love the depth that they went into with it, because you got really excited about the game, and then if you had the magazine, you kind of knew what to expect in the game, right? And there were not a lot of spoilers to be had at that point, because it was just what the levels looked like, and you wanted to get to those levels to see them and interact with them in person. So that was part of it. Yeah, this is a good one. This is up there with some of the better ones that we've had. And Craig said, can you imagine? Well, you know what's funny? Back then, because I was into computers at that point. I always was, but I was like super into computers. And there were a number of computer companies, like Mac Connection. They're all still around, I think. PC Connection, Mac Warehouse. They all had this deal with Airborne Express, which was a FedEx competitor. And they were in Seattle. One of them was in Seattle, Washington. I think it was like PC Zone or Mac Zone. So I could call, you had a call to order anything, because this was like pre-internet. I could call there at like 8 o'clock, order something, and have it the next day for $4. Airborne Express would overnight it. Back in 1992. I remember that's when I got my Newton in 94. Like we ordered it at 5 o'clock, I had it the next day. So you just had to dial it up on the phone and read your credit card over the phone. You had to have, talk to somebody to place the order, right? But that was part for the course. Here is Sculpted Software, kind of a developer preview. This is kind of neat. They're giving some attention to the developers. Got a little tiny screen there he's working on. That's pretty neat. The Super Scope. Who was just talking about the Super Scope? Oh, I was listening to the Retronauts podcast, and they were talking about this. I didn't realize the Super Scope was wireless. Did you all know that? It was. And Charles G says his work still buys from one of those companies. Yeah, they're still around. They're not the same, they're owned by different people, right? Probably private equity now. And here's another little section here. Yeah, this is fun because I did not have a Nintendo Power subscription at this point in my life, so it's kind of fun to have this. Here's something funny. Okay, so these are the top let's look at this first. The top 20 games in May of '92. Super Mario 3, #1 for 31 months. Now, I don't know how they rate this. I guess well, I guess maybe they're looking at how many units they're selling out the door. The Legend of Zelda, the original, this is all NES, okay. But still, think about that. Zelda 2 was out for many years at this point, and the original was still outselling it. So Zelda 2 is like number 19 on the list. And Martin says, yeah, it was IR based. And Charles wondered how, I think what they did is they photographed the screen. I think that's what they did there. And then we've got Super NES, top of the notch here, Super Mario World. Was that the pack-in game? Yeah, it came with it. F-Zero, The Legend of Zelda, Final Fantasy, and SimCity, number 5. And this could very well be because it was so early in the Super NES's lifespan that there wasn't a lot of other games out just yet. Well, maybe there were. Yeah, Contra 3 was available already, so I take that back. SimCity was popular. I had no idea. Game Boy, no surprise, Super Mario Land, Metroid 2, Dr. Mario. You know, what's interesting is that what was top back then still kind of holds up today, right? These are all games that have stood the test of time for the most part. Somebody should look these people up on Facebook and see if they're still around. Like, do they remember being featured in Nintendo Power? Can you imagine like how big a deal that must be in each of these kids' school? That's funny. What are your favorite Super NES games? Melissa Explains It All, Celebrity Profile. Was that Clarissa? Yeah. So, oh, you know, funny story about her. What's her name? Melissa Joan Hart. Funny story with her. About 2 years ago, they filmed a Christmas movie in my town starring her. So she was at the local bakery that we all go to doing her movie. It's pretty cool. It's a Hallmark movie or a Lifetime movie, one or the other. Pack-Watch. Lemmings for... Is that the Nintendo or the Super Nintendo? Yeah, for the NES. Did you know that the Lemmings was out on the NES? I don't even remember that. Pretty cool. All right, we got to do the other two quicker here. NBA 2. This is what happens. I get caught in the moment. This is a great one. Keep your game in high gear. This was a good one. And now I wish I had coffee in my Game Boy mug or in my block mug. I think I might just use this as a prop. I don't know. Olivier says, I love this mug. Which one, Olivier? The block one or the Game Boy one? The Game Boy one is pretty neat. So just in case you missed it, we filled up the Game Boy one with hot water. Here, I'll play it back real quick here. We filled up the Game Boy one with hot water. This was it's got to be like boiling level, so tap water is not going to do it. But once the water is hot enough, it like magically changes before your eyes. Look at that. Isn't that cool? So it actually works as advertised. I thought that was kind of neat. I had a Mario pipe mug, but it broke. I'm not sure what happened to it. Nobody's fessing up to what happened to that mug, but I was really bummed out about that mug because I liked that mug, and now it has a leak in it. All right, here's the next one. So that was a good magazine. So what are we guessing here on the year for this one? So this last one was 1992. So what do you think, folks? Let's see. And Olivier says it makes a great gift. Yeah, there's some good stuff for retro game fans. And this company is called Paladone. They got some good stuff. All right. We got another one here. What do you think? What do you think? 1995, 91, 95, 86. I don't think there really were any game magazines in 86. Because I remember getting my first one around 88 or so. All right, here we go. You ready, folks? Game Pro, May of 1991. Who called it? JSIC called it. You got it, and Martin did. So Martin and JSIC got it right, 91. This one should be a good one. So this was when Battletoads first came out on the NES. And this one feels pretty good too from a quality standpoint. We're going to go through these a little bit quicker just because I'm running out of time. Before I got to get dinner ready for everybody. All right, so Bonk's Adventure on the TurboGrafx 16. You know what's funny is how people really appreciate the TurboGrafx and PC Engine in the US now more than they did when it was actually available. And I think everyone got caught up in the Sega versus NEC versus Nintendo thing at the time. So there you go. Oh, Yatsik, I'm sorry about that. The Rocketeer. This one smells like it might have been in a home with smokers. It's got a little bit of a smoky odor to it. Here is an ad for the Game Gear. I had one of these. In fact, I have one in my closet that's no longer working. And this is an example of how sometimes the marketing for games exaggerated things. So look how crisp and clear that screen looks. It did not look that crisp and clear in reality because it was not an active matrix TFT display. So the display looked a lot cloudier than it looks like here. But the Game Gear was pretty neat because it was a portable, essentially a portable master system. David had a TurboGrafx. Michael still has his Game Gear, I'm guessing, or his TurboGrafx. Martin wishes that his Game Gear screen looked like that. Me too. You can now get them that do look like that. They have replacement screens, but you got to recap the whole thing. Ando has missed out on the TurboGrafx, but now has the Mini. Yeah, I've been playing through some of the games on my Mister, and I've been playing the Castlevania game on the CD. Amazing. So, oh, here's something funny. I had this, the TV thing. I thought that was awesome. And you know what else it had? So you had the TV tuner that you could attach to the top of it. And then what it also had was an input. So you could plug things in, video input. So you could plug in a video camera, you could plug in another game console. It was pretty cool. But I loved having that TV. It was kind of fun to be able to watch TV wherever you went, you know, like as part of your game console. But man, did that thing eat up batteries. And they have some Game Boy games being previewed here. Here's G-Lock. Game Gear games, I'm sorry. Game Gear is here. So this must have just come out, $149 in 1991. I got it right when it came out, because it came out in the summertime, so I had my summer job, so I had money. I remember buying that thing. And it was funny, a lot of people thought it was going to be a port. I didn't think that because, well, you know what's funny? They didn't say that it wasn't. Let's put it that way. So a lot of my friends thought that it was a portable Genesis, when in fact it was really just kind of a master system, insofar as its graphics capability is concerned. the NBA's jamming on Game Boy, but it wasn't NBA Jam. It was the NBA All-Star Challenge. It's like 2-on-2 basketball on the Game Boy. And they had LJN, WWF Superstars. Atari Lynx was getting liquidated at that point, $100. I think the Lynx was actually more powerful than the Game Boy because it had hardware scaling and rotation and everything. Yeah, that was an underappreciated system. And David did not know. Yeah, I wish I still kept that tuner. Obviously, it wouldn't work very well for much now with digital TV, but it still had that video input. Michael had the TV tuner too. Yep. I was the coolest nerd in school with that thing. And Martin recapped his Game Gear and still having trouble. And Charles said they would pack. Yeah, that's right. They always packed in stuff. I remember on my Genesis, I should go get that box from my mom's place, because my Genesis has an advertisement for the modem, for the Sega Genesis modem. You can subscribe to Game Pro. So this is a preview, or a pro view as they say here, for Battletoads on the NES, which we also saw was a top seller in the last magazine we looked at. How about Totally Rad, dude? That's 90s right there. And this one is from 1991. I like the ads almost the best because it gives you an idea of the time, right? Like you see what the marketing looked like. Ikarai Warriors for, what is this coming out for? Ikarai 3, available in 91, must be for the NES. Ikarai Warriors did not age well. At the time it was initially available, I think it was better received than it has been today. All I remember is one day trying to play through the game because you could continue with a special code, and the game just would not end. It just kept going and going and going. Golden Axe Warrior was kind of like a Zelda ripoff on the Genesis, I believe. And they have their own comic here. Culture was a game for the NES that they're doing here. Cool stuff. Little Ninja Brothers, Chapter 1. Little comic there too. Game Pro tip line, 1-900, $1.75 for the first minute, 90 cents for each additional minute. Can you imagine what that would have cost your mom and dad? Oh my goodness. Here is Airbuster for the Genesis. Here's a TurboGrafx Pro View of Sword of Doom. Oh, I remember this one. So this was a so I got my first CD-ROM around this time, around 92. And I bought this game with it because it was like one of the first things you could get for a PC CD-ROM. It was all video-based. And they ported this to everything. So this was on the Genesis, it was on the PC, it was on everything. Michael got into trouble calling the number. That was the other thing. Sega had free game counselors you could call. I think Nintendo did too for a good long while. You had to call a toll number, but David's wife had the Game Gear with the tuner. That tuner is worth money if you still have it. It's still, because it's a collectible now, because it was not as prevalent. I had a quick shot on my computer, joystick, I believe. Here's R-Type for the Game Boy. Kung Fu Master, Go-Go Tank. Here's a preview on the links. Yeah, this really smells like it came out of a smoker's house. Quick, turn the page. Boy, I bet you they would love that. You just missed them. I bet you this is Sonic 2. What do you think? Sonic Tuesday? This is actually some pretty good advertising here. You gotta be faster than, this is clever. This cost them a fortune, but I think it was probably gonna pay off. Okay, who's that wise guy that hit pause? Oh, this is the first one. Sonic the Hedgehog is coming soon. He's the fastest video character you've ever laid eyes upon. That was a cool ad. And David said she lost it by the time, oh, that's unfortunate, because that would have paid for Christmas this year. Here's some tactics. Bart versus the Space Mutants on the Nintendo, I believe. Oh, here's some people drawing some art. They submitted art for different games that they play. Some pretty cool artwork here. And their ages. Makes you wonder what all these people are doing now. How many of them are on YouTube? Or just never got, you know what I mean? Like, do they stick with the gaming thing? Do they come back to it? I want to know. We pay the highest prices. Trade in your old games. Video Game Land in Redondo Beach, California. All right, we got one more. Let's get the guesses in on the last set here. What do you think? And I think I'm getting another one pretty soon, so we're going to probably come back and have another update before you know it. All right. Let's get the years in here. What do you think, everybody? What do you think? What do you think? This one feels pretty thick, so I'm going to guess kind of, probably more mid-90s. 97. I think that might be probably where this ends up. We'll see here. Let's take a look. I'll get a few more guesses in. 94, 92. My gut is going to be closer to 97. But let's see. Here we go. You ready? Yep. PlayStation Magazine, 1998. And it kind of gives you like an indicator of the size of the industry, because this is a thick, there's probably 100 pages in this one. Yeah, 162 pages. So we're not going to be able to go through really quick on this one. So this one was 1998. So the industry was much bigger now, right, with the PlayStation and the Saturn. And so this was like probably around the time the Saturn was phasing itself out. About a year away from the Dreamcast at this point. Oh, and you're not going to see any Saturn in this one because this is the PlayStation magazine. So that's why it's all there. So you got Crash Bandicoot. So I had a PlayStation at this point, but I think it stopped working. So I got my PlayStation in '95. So this is like really late in the PlayStation's life cycle because I think the PlayStation 2 didn't come out till what, 2000? So they got a lot of life out of that thing. But this is like pretty much at its peak, I would guess. Here's the Samsung. Where's retro RGB when you need them? This is the Samsung GX TV. So this is a gaming CRT television that has speakers. Somebody needs to find this thing. It has speakers hanging off the side of it. $199 after $30 rebate. 15-watt subwoofer. Stereo surround sound, graphical enhancement circuitry. They have so much artwork on it, you can't even see what it looks like. Extreme power, works with all video game systems. It has to be, somebody needs to find this thing. I don't know where it is, but that is one that I think I'd like to see. Jeff Gordon Racing, ODT. My goodness, look at this, this is the release schedule. This is just November. So this, of course, is right before the holiday shopping season. But there were so many titles coming out for the PlayStation at that point. Twisted Metal 3. And yeah, that's true, Michael. That's right. From that ad, there's only one left. Hey, I don't know if any moderators are in there, but it looks like we have finally attracted the attention of the spammers. So we're going to get rid of that person right there. They're out of here. Yeah, I don't have a lot of nostalgia for this period. But look at all this stuff that was coming out for, let's look at this thing, the Intensor chair. So it's got like subwoofers were big at this point. I'm guessing this chair would vibrate you. See, these gaming chairs these days are not anywhere nearly as fun. It kind of looks like a futuristic toilet, to be honest with you. Pretty crazy. Yes. Yeah, once you get the spammers up, you have hit the big time, for sure. And thank you, David, for reporting. I have muted them, so they are off the radar. And here's some, they've got all sorts of stuff. NBA Shootout 99. Yeah, I don't know how many games came out for the PlayStation. Maybe somebody can look that up. But this is going to be like peak PlayStation here. Crash Bandicoot, I wonder if this coupon is still valid. Nope, it's good until 1999, so too bad. Cool Borders 3. 20% off at Sears. Is Sears even around anymore? Get jeans or khakis. This one expires December of '98. So when this magazine came out, I was just fresh out of college because I graduated in May of '98. This was December. And here's the holiday special, of course. So this is all the holiday games. NHL Face-Off 99, Tekken 3, Tomb Raider 3, Quake 2. So all the classics, the RC Racer, Formula 98, Formula 1 98. That looks pretty cool. Twisted Metal 3, a little preview of that. Yeah, so I was like heavy into PC gaming at this point. I did get the Dreamcast because I thought that was going to be some. I've always liked the Sega stuff, but I was more of a PC gamer at this point. I was doing a lot of PC gaming. I had a Voodoo card, and I think at this point I was upgrading to I don't think I went to the NVIDIA cards yet. So I was on my Voodoo 2 at this point. And there was all sorts of great stuff. And obviously the PC gaming, this was really when PCs like kind of just started breaking away from the console capacity. In fact, around this time, you were able to emulate the PlayStation on the PC and on the Mac. There was software emulators that were made available. Bleem was one, and I believe there was a Connectix made one for the Mac. Steve Jobs was showing it off around this time, so the PCs got really powerful. In fact, around this time, there was an emulator for the Nintendo 64 called Ultra HLE. Modern Vintage Gamer did a thing on it, and it was amazing because it actually, both of these, the PlayStation and N64 emulators, because the Voodoo cards were so much more powerful, they actually made the games look better and run at a higher resolution, and sometimes better frame rates. Test Drive 5, open world game, probably like a precursor to what you would get later with Grand Theft Auto and others. Yeah, Test Drive, I think, really pushed the limits on open world stuff. Here's some tip lines. So we had internet at this point, but there were still phone numbers to call for tips. Because you don't see a lot of websites advertised. It's like here, if you want your swag, you got to, yeah, there's no .coms anywhere. I was buying a lot of stuff on the internet at that point. Yeah, so you could email them. imaginemedia.com. Cool. Yeah, Signosis.com. So you're starting to see some websites, but they weren't like heavily advertised there. So everybody, I got to get going because I got to get our next video posted. But this was fun. We got caught up, and I enjoyed spending some time with you. We looked at our mugs here, got that done. We accomplished a lot this afternoon. So thank you all for tuning in. And there was some discussion about the CRT televisions, and I would imagine, yeah, like a PVM would still be better. And I would imagine at that point they started having RGB connections. We'd have to take a look and see. That would be the big determinator there. But yeah, had fun, everybody. So I will be back again soon. Follow me on Amazon if you're not already. It's always good to build up that follower count. And I stream there. I usually simulcast, but I sometimes will pop on Amazon randomly just because it's easier to stream there from a setup perspective. So good stuff. But I enjoyed opening up these magazines with all of you. And I will catch you all on the next one. And I want to thank, make sure I missed, I don't want to make sure I missed any super chats. I did get a super chat from Eric earlier, so thank you for that. Let me just make sure I didn't have anybody else here. I always like to make sure I acknowledge everybody. And yeah, thank you all for tuning in. So I will catch you on the next one. Bye for now.